keep in mind that with the Part 4 questions, you should be spending a pretty decent amount of time on the entire question. I would say about 10 to 15 minutes on the whole question is realistic. And if you're not spending that amount of time, you're probably either rushing through it or you just might not know what to do. So take a step back and kind of think of it as a whole and try to take it step by step, because there's always a lot to these last questions. So here I drew a rectangular picture, and my picture is this in yellow. So this is a picture. Okay, and then I labeled it the 6 by 8 and realized that we are framing it. And when I frame it, the frame has the same thickness all around. That's why I labeled it with these X values here. That's where they came from. They told us even more information. They told us that it's going to have a maximum area of 100 square inches on the wall. So a maximum area of 100 square inches with the frame and the picture combined. So I knew that I needed to find both the length and the width of the picture and the frame. That's where the 6x plus 2x came from, or sorry, the 6 plus 2x and the 8 plus 2x came from. So because the area formula, and I guess I probably should have written this somewhere, area is equal to length times width. I knew the area was already 100, so then I just multiplied the length and the width together to get the equation that they were asking us for. So down below here, how did we get an equation or inequality? You could have also had an inequality because it said maximum. We could also have put a less than or equal to symbol here in its place, but it gave us the option to either pick the equation or inequality. So I'm going to go with the equation based on what I need to do down below so it doesn't get too confusing. So everything that I just explained, I just wrote out in words down below here. Just make sure that your explanation is thorough enough. You just want to talk about where the length came from, where the width came from, and why you put it into the formula, area equals length times width. Okay, so now it says solve the equation or inequality. So we need to solve this. Well, right away, it kind of looks weird. So what I wanted to do first is double distribute. That's what I did here. I realized after I double distributed that this is not going to be an easy equation, a simple linear equation to solve, I should say. It's a quadratic. So you got it. We need to set it equal to 0. So I moved the 100 over to the other side from this step to this step. And in addition to doing that, I also wrote my terms in descending order, like a standard form, because it helps me to solve a quadratic better. So since I'm working with such large numbers, after I combine the 48 and minus 100, I have 428 and negative 52. I'm not even going to mess around with factoring. I'm just going to go straight to the quadratic formula. So after I do that, I want to tell the reader what A, B, and C are, and then I'm actually going to write out the formula. So these are non-negotiables in Mrs. Ruscio's eyes, okay? And then we're going to substitute each of the values A, B, and C into each of the pieces down below. Parentheses, parentheses, parentheses. Now, from this step to the step below, all I did was simplify. I just simplified this piece here to become 1,616, and then I also multiplied 2 times 4, the denominator, which was 8. Now, since it said round to the nearest tenth of an inch, that means yay for us. We do not have to simplify the square root. You know how sometimes we would like go off to the side and do our little bubble over here? We don't have to do any of that because it says round to the nearest tenth of an inch. It doesn't say write in simplest radical form. So what I'm going to do here is just break apart this plus minus symbol, this is really adding and subtracting, into these two. So I rewrite it exactly how you see it, except I break it up into 2 because this is a 2 for 1 here. Now we're going to split them up. You're going to find that one of them ends up becoming gross. I just type it all in my calculator exactly how I see it. I get a negative number. That doesn't make sense for the width of a picture frame. So the wood can't be a negative, so we just get rid of that answer choice. That's why we're going to select this here. I wrote out what my decimal looked like on the calculator, and then I rounded at the very end. There was a lot to this question, and I probably would expect to see a lot of red pens here because it was pretty challenging. But if you were able to get this question without any assistance, I mean, more power to you. This was really tough. So nice job if you got it right. If not, take a minute, pause the video, go back and make sure that you have shown all of the corrections, because this is actually a type of question that I've seen happen again in the future on Regents exams, so it's definitely good to know.